Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So on a recent Calling All Devs, a question came up which I was very happy to get the answer to. The question was regarding components within ships, and when will we be able to physically interact with them and swap them in and out. Now currently the only way to swap components around on your ship, if it even works at all, is to go into the Mobi-Glass and select it, and it's all a bit meh. This is obviously not the intention for the final game, and so getting these components physically in ships is important. Now the answer they gave is that CIG plan to start getting components into ships in this quarter, so quarter 4. This is internally, it won't be released to us till later, but the first step is to start off with the anvil terrapin, and you may have noticed in this ship particularly the interior has compartments which can be opened up, revealing the components behind. The components we see though are just currently placeholders, they're not the actual components. The process will go sort of step 1, getting the actual components into the relevant slots. Step 2 is then being able to physically move the component and take them out, put them in, inspect them and so forth. Once the real components are in, then they will actually be plugged into the item ports on your ships and will affect your ship properly should you remove them. So for example, if you were to take out the power plant, the ship will no longer have any power and it will be unable to function until you put it back in again. Now what this means is that if we were to buy a quantum drive, for example, and physically carry it onto our ship, you could then remove the current drive and replace it with the new one. Currently you can buy various components which can provide a better performance depending on what it is you choose, but actually holding them and using them is done via the Mobi-Glass, as I've said, which isn't very immersive. Once this new system is in, it will also be the first major step really into the engineering mechanic, having someone on board your ship who is physically replacing them and looking after the components and swapping them with old ones that wear down. That I think is going to be very exciting, so adding more multi-crew functionality to ships. Obviously some components are huge for the larger ships. I'm not really sure how CIG will handle moving these, maybe some form of Gravlev flatbed device that we've seen previously. But this also potentially expands the salvage mechanic, finding derelict ships with components and selling them on, or maybe using them yourself. It may even affect the time to disable rather than just the time to kill all the time, you know, making it so that you can disable ships rather than just blow them up. That would be nice if that one comes in. But this, he says, will be ready sometime early next year. As I've said, they're starting this quarter, so starting right now to start working on it with the terrapin. It is only a little bit of gameplay, but I really can't wait, and it just makes those ships feel more unique to us. They're going to get working on the Anvil Terrapin first, then move on to the rest. Obviously, getting it into the smaller ships is the starting point, and then, you know, when you approach ships like the Reclaimer, it may take a little longer because they are bigger ships with bigger components. But this sort of sparked my imagination, and I'm really glad that we heard they are beginning work on this, because it's been a long time coming, I feel. Being able to actually interact with your ship on a component level is something that I think is really missing from the game, and yeah, getting it in sooner than later is definitely a good thing in my book. Anyway, that is it for this video. Make sure you follow me over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. We always play Star Citizen, and we are playing a lot more now. We've got VoIP in. Big thank you to my patrons. If you want to support my channel even further, it is much appreciated. Do follow the link to my Patreon page below. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and I shall see you next time.